Your impression, you've been traveling the state for the last week or so.
Yeah.
This is really a heartbreaking situation.
It is a very heartbreaking situation for individuals, for families, for communities, for small businesses, for farmers. I mean, from one corner of the state to another, there are so many Vermonters hurting. And as the Secretary said, everywhere we go, we see all the volunteers that have turned out to help, and that gives us a lot of hope. I think we're all, if I can speak on behalf of the entire congressional delegation, because we talk frequently, what we're worried about are those people who are going to fall, in donut holes of funding. And so I'm really very concerned about folks in the mobile home parks who already didn't have any insurance on their mobile homes because they were too old to get insurance, let alone flood insurance. And a lot of our small businesses that are really the backbone of these communities, some of them don't know how they're going to come back from it. And that, in fact, that impacts them, but it also impacts the entire community. So the work that we're going to do is going to take years to rebuild. And Vermonters are incredibly strong, incredibly resilient, but they need state and federal partners to be working together to get them the resources. I've also been so inspired by the fact that when emergencies happen in Vermont, there is no Democrat or Republican. It's Vermonters. Every community we go to is Vermonters. And a couple FEMA officials the other day say they couldn't believe that people came out on the streets in Montpelier to hug them. And the same situation with the Secretary of Transportation. Everywhere he went today, people were just so grateful, not just for for the Biden administration taking this so seriously and trying to get help to us so quickly, but also just bearing witness to their stories. That's what people want to tell us about. What happened before the flood, what happened during, what happened right after. They are doing the work of what we call the talking cure. They need to be able to talk about the trauma that they've been through. And that is also something that I know my team is really focused on. How do we support people in terms of the mental health needs on the ground? Because that's also going to last. So
I was going to say that's something that your office has focused on, and it's
Yes.
a very serious problem.
It already is, even before this emergency. So the other thing I would want Vermonters to know is Senator Sanders and Senator Welch, the three of us are working so closely together. Our teams are working closely together. I've been in touch with members of the House who have been through other emergencies in their home districts. They've offered help in how to navigate FEMA and AOT at the federal level. And so I feel like I've got all these resources that I can turn to make sure that we're doing everything we can from my office to help.
How do you see your office helping on the mental health services? Because I know that's something that it's been a very high priority for you.
So we are going to be, as we head into, I'm sure the next few weeks in Washington are going to be critical in setting up for those funding bills, those must-pass funding bills, and we're going to be looking for every opportunity we can to get funding in those must-pass bills. And I'm just hoping we can make the case across party line, because it's very partisan in D.C. right now, unfortunately, that we have to give attention to the mental health crisis, and that cuts across, again, partisan lines. So I got to catch a plane, unfortunately. So
one last thing. What does it mean that Secretary Buttigieg came to Vermont today?
Oh, it means everything. It means everything. It means that as small as we are, it is on his radar screen, both from FEMA, but also the Biden administration directly saying it's critically important that you get on the ground so that you see it with your own eyes, the level of destruction to roads and bridges. And so the fact that he is here means that we have the attention of the administration. And so I'm so glad he's here. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.